What is a prenatal visit? Prenatal care, also known as antenatal care, is a type of preventive health care. It is provided in the form of medical checkups, consisting of recommendations on managing a healthy lifestyle and the provision of medical information, such as maternal physiological changes in pregnancy, physiological changes, and prenatal nutrition, including prenatal vitamins, which prevents potential health problems throughout the course of the pregnancy and promotes the mother and child's health alike.
Come in.
Good morning.
Good morning, Doc. I have a problem because I've been experiencing a lot of cravings lately, and it's getting me worried because my monthly period is delayed.
Honey, what's wrong? Honey, are you okay?
Babe, can you please hand me my phone?
Sure, baby.
I'm late for my period for almost 2 weeks. I think I should take a pregnancy test.
It's positive.
Well, that's good news, babe. You want to get a checkup by a professional doctor, babe?
Good morning.
Morning.
May I know your purpose upon visiting?
My wife have just tested positive using a pregnancy test kit, and we would like to ensure if she is really pregnant, since there is an NSAID that outcome is inaccurate and may result a false pregnancy.
Oh, I see. Did you make an appointment already?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, may I know your name?
First trimester visit for prenatal care. The first trimester begins on the first day of your last period and lasts until the end of week 12. A woman's body goes through many changes during the first 12 weeks of pregnancy. Changes in the woman's body are the following: tiredness, upset stomach, throwing up, mood swings, weight gain, headaches, food cravings, and constipation. Once these changes are noticed, book an appointment with your doctor.
So, Mom, I have some questions for you, ha? Okay. When was your last menstruation period? I think it was on September 3. September? Yes, September 3. Is this your first pregnancy? Yes. Okay. And any history of hypertension? No, I don't have. How about diabetes? No. Have you taken medication? No. And do you smoke? No, I don't. How about, do you drink coffee? I don't think so. So, that's all, Mom. Thank you.
Make your first prenatal appointment as soon as you learn what you're expecting. Allocate some time during your initial visit to review your medical history and discuss any risk factors you may have related to pregnancies. So for medical background, your medical professional might inquire about your gynecological history, menstrual cycle, and any previous pregnancy. They may also ask your own and your family's medical background, contact with any potentially hazardous substances, medications you take such as prescription or over-the-counter drugs, vitamins, or dietary supplements. They may also ask your way of life, including the usage of alcohol, caffeine, tobacco, and other drugs for recreational purposes. And they may also ask you if you have visited location where it's common to contact with infectious diseases such as monkeypox, Zika virus, tuberculosis, or other diseases. Make sure to share details about delicate subjects like past drug use or domestic abuse as well. This will enable your doctor to provide the best care possible for both you and the baby.
So, Mom, we're going to check your body mass index. So, can you please stand on the weighing scale? Okay, ma'am. Thank you.
Physical exam. Physical exam, your doctor will take measurements of your weight, height, and body mass index in order to determine how much weight you need to gain for a healthy pregnancy. Your doctor may perform a physical examination on you that includes a breast and pelvic exam. Depending on how long it has been since your last pap smear, you might require one. You might require tests of your thyroid, lungs, and heart depending on your circumstances. The first is to perform an ultrasound to confirm the pregnancy. 2 is to take the blood pressure. 3 is to estimate your date of delivery or due date. 4. Check your weight. BMI for first trimester, that minimum weight gain is 4.5 pounds.
So, good morning. I'm Dr. Jago. So, congratulations with our pregnant. So, I'll be describing this test so that you can go to the laboratory on your next visit. So, here are the tests that we will be needing. First is your complete blood count, and second is the rubella test. Third is the hepatitis screening, and then the HIV testing, syphilis testing, urinalysis, maternal blood serum, milk translucency, and then pelvic ultrasounds and
Lab test. The prenatal panel is a set of tests that your doctor or midwife will perform on or during your initial visit. These tests are carried out to identify issues or infections at an early stage of pregnancy. This list of examinations comprises but is not limited to: first is an entire blood count or CBC, blood analysis including RH screen, test for rubella viral antigen, and this shows how immune you are to the disease rubella. Hepatitis screening. This shows if you are positive for hepatitis A, B, or C. And then test for syphilis. HIV testing. This test if you are positive for the virus that causes AIDS. And then test for cystic fibrosis. This test shows if you are carrier for the cystic fibrosis. And then urine culture analysis. And then usually within 3 months of pregnancy, vaccines, immunizations are prescribed for the mother to protect the baby. Test for sexually transmitted infections, HIV, and hepatitis. Then screen for risk factors like anemia. And lastly, check thyroid levels.
Hello, ma'am. Can I help you?
Hello, we're going to buy some medicines.
Do you have a prescription?
Yeah, here.
Thank you. Okay, there you go, ma'am. Thank you.
Thank you.
Here are some do's and don'ts that I recommend. For do's is: first, take prenatal vitamins. Second, exercise regularly. Then third is eat a diet high in fruits, vegetables, low-fat forms of protein and fiber. Then fourth is drink lots of water. And fifth is eat enough calories. Then for don'ts, first is strenuous exercises. Second is alcohol. Then third is smoking. And fourth, unpasteurized milk. Then the last is fifth, fish containing high levels of
I'm going to discuss the growth of the baby. For the end of 12th gestational week, which is the first trimester, the length of the fetus is 7 to 8 centimeters, in which the weight is 45 grams, and nail beds are forming on fingers and toes, and spontaneous movements are possible, although they are usually too faint to be felt by the mother, and some reflexes such as the Babinski reflex are present, and bone ossification centers begin to form, and tooth buds are present. And also, sex is distinguishable on outward appearance, and urine secretion begins but may not yet be evident in amniotic fluid. and the heartbeat is audible through Doppler technology. For the end of 16th gestational week, the length of the fetus is 10 to 17 centimeters, in which the weight is 55 to 120 grams, and the fetal heart sounds are audible by an ordinary stethoscope, and lanugo is well formed, and both the liver and the pancreas are functioning, and the fetus actively swallows amniotic fluid, demonstrating an intact but uncoordinated swallowing reflex. Urine is present in amniotic fluid. And lastly, sex can be determined by ultrasonography. And for the end of 20th gestational week, the length of the fetus is 25 centimeters, in which the weight is 223 grams, and spontaneous fetal movements can be sensed by the mother, and antibody production is possible. And hair, including eyebrows, forms on the head. Vernix caseosa begins to cover the skin, and meconium is present in the upper intestine. And also, brown fat, a special fat that aids in temperature regulation, begins to form behind the kidneys, sternum, and posterior neck. And passive antibody transfer from mother to fetus begins. And lastly, definite sleeping and activity patterns are distinguishable as the fetus develops biorhythms that will guide sleep or wake patterns throughout life.
Prenatal genetic testing. There are 5 types of prenatal genetic tests, which can be used for screening the risk of the baby having a genetic disorder or for diagnosing such as abnormalities. For screening, we need to evaluate the risk of genetic problems and non-invasive, and then offered to all women. So first is maternal blood serum, second is the prenatal ultrasound, and then the third is the non-invasive prenatal testing. For diagnosing, we need to confirm or rule out genetic problems, invasive, and then offered after abnormal screening tests or known risk factors. So fourth is the chorionic villus sampling, and then the immunosynthesis. And then we need to calculate risk for abnormalities or genetic disease in the fetus.
Genetic testing. This is to check for birth defects and genetic issues like Down syndrome or brain and spinal column defects. All women are given the option to undergo genetic testing. Now, we're going to discuss which of these tests will be most beneficial for you if your doctor determines that you require one of them. So when women who could be more susceptible to these genetic issues includes women who have previously given birth to a fetus with genetic issues, women who are at least 35 years old and above, and people who have a long history of inherited birth defects in their family. A more recent test called cell-free DNA testing scans a mother's blood sample for tiny traces of your child's genes. Although this test is more recent, it shows a lot of promise for accuracy without miscarriage risks.
High-risk pregnancy. Though being in a high-risk pregnancy can be distressing to expectant mothers, it does not mean that the pregnancy will always be challenging and problematic. What is high-risk pregnancy? It is a pregnancy with increased risk of complications and requires closer monitoring of more thorough prenatal care. Causes: pre-pregnancy risk factors: obesity, hypertension, thyroid disease, and diabetes. Pregnancy complications: gestational diabetes, preeclampsia, birth defects, and placenta previa.
The first trimester of pregnancy is the most important time for fetal development. If a woman can be kept from becoming hyperglycemic during this time, the chances of a congenital anomaly are greatly lessened. The most frequent cause of miscarriage in the first trimester of pregnancy is abnormal fetal development, due either to a teratogenic factor or to a chromosomal aberration. Exercises for first trimester. It is best to favor low-impact exercises, especially walking, yoga, swimming, and water aerobics during this time. Some slightly more vigorous exercises may also be appropriate in the first trimester. Example of these includes running, jogging, and moderate weightlifting. This includes the Kegel exercises, pelvic rocking, squatting, and tailor sitting.